Yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. Aloha and welcome, everyone. We are going to start our tea chat today, and I have a special guest all the way from Georgia. She's a very energetic mom of 4 kids. She has 3 girls and 1 boy. Let me give you a little bit of background on myself. I'm Michelle Sorensen, the tea goddess. I'm the owner of Tea at 1024 in downtown Honolulu, and I have been serving afternoon tea with love and passion since 1999. And when I travel, I like to seek out different tea rooms. And my next guest, Angela Renal, has been finding the perfect spot for afternoon tea very easily. She started an online directory called Destination Tea, and there are over 10,000 monthly visitors that go to her directory to find the perfect place to have afternoon tea. So thank you, Angela, for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Hi, welcome. So why don't you tell us a little bit about Destination Tea?
Sure. So Destination Tea is 4 years old. And I started it because I didn't even know what afternoon tea was until I was a young mom. I was like in my 20s. And we have a tea room near us that is now unfortunately gone. But at the time, I was going there with my girlfriends for lunch, and they had this menu of like 100 loose leaf teas. It was amazing. The food was delicious. And every time I went in, they would say, would you like to try? Because I was ordering so much food. They were like, would you just like to try the afternoon tea menu? And I was like, I don't know, because I'm Italian,
Okay.
so that's not really a thing in our culture. And I grew up in New Jersey, but I moved down here. I've had my family down here in Georgia. So finally, after I've been going in there for literally a year, I said, okay, fine, I'll try the afternoon tea. And when it came out, I was like, what? Like, how did I not already know about this amazing meal that is called afternoon tea? So that's why I started the web. I used to do public relations and marketing, but I started the website after my kids went back to school because I was like, okay, if I'm going to work on something, let me work on something that I think is amazing, because, whatever, I can just go on and on. But basically, I wanted to create it for people like myself, that when we're, traveling or not, even when we're in our own states, that we're aware where afternoon tea is being served. So I did that research. It took me about 2 years to do the research because I would just do it while the kids were in school. And then I put together the website. And so now I'm just trying to kind of build the content. But it's been really exciting because even though 10,000 sounds amazing, 10,000 visitors a month, I used to be excited when we had 100 visitors a month. I was like, yes, 100 people know about Destination Tea, so it's doubled every year. So it's really exciting because I really want everyone to know about it. I think it's really a needed custom.
Right. Well, it's a huge undertaking you've got all the 50 states listed there.
Yeah.
And I know you do some by interview, but have there been tea rooms that you actually visited?
I think at this time I've done about 75 afternoon tea reviews. I was lucky enough to do some in Ireland. That was amazing, of course. And some on cruise ships. Those are some of the more crazy places I've been. But yeah, I visited a lot. I think one of the misconceptions. Ooh, look at that.
That's one of your shots.
Yeah.
That looks kind of like the Four Seasons. Don't they do that round?
Yeah, might.
Or the Mandarin. I think the Mandarin does that.
That might actually be a shot that I had to like credit to somebody. That might be from one of my posts, I think. But I think that one of the misconceptions in the United States is that all tea rooms serve afternoon tea, or that afternoon tea is only served at tea rooms. So a lot of the investigation that I had to do was finding where afternoon tea really was being served. And in this country, it's amazing. Like, you can have afternoon tea on a train, you can have afternoon tea in a museum, in a historic home. definitely in a tea room. The other thing that we have that's predominantly in, I would say, the Southeast and maybe the Midwest is we have tea rooms that are truly more like scratch made lunch, right? So, and maybe they do have beautiful teacups and they might have a nice tea selection, but they do not serve the afternoon tea meal. And so making that distinction as well had to be part of my research. So it was
Mhm.
fun because the people I got to talk to are awesome, like yourself. It's a great community.
Yeah, it is. And it's we are, because like, like I said, when I travel, I like to go and have tea at, all the different tea rooms. And I like to see what everybody else is doing and what their take and their spin. I mean, there's very much the tradition that everybody does stick to, but then it's just kind of nice to see the ambiance, how it's decorated, the foods that they do choose for your sandwiches, and of course the scones and the cream and the jam and that sort of thing. But yeah, afternoon tea is a lovely tradition that I've been enjoying for many years. And
Well,
then
and
just
to your point, like depending on where you are, that menu, and that's another cool thing about it in the United States, like depending on the tea room owner's heritage, you will see a lot of differences. Like in New Jersey, we went to a tea room where the owners are Italian. The portions are enormous. They're like, here's a scone the size of your face. Please enjoy it. Do you need seconds? They want nobody's going away hungry, right? And they have like mascarpone. They're bringing like Italian ingredients and cuisine into the menu. There's a tea house. You were saying, is it your daughter in Virginia? There's a
right.
tea house in Virginia that is Russian, and the woman herself isn't Russian. She was in the military and she traveled and spent so much time in Russia that she just became enamored of their culture and their cuisine. And so she infuses that into her menu, right? And then the South, you have like the pimento cheese sandwiches. And I even went to an African American Southern tea room where they did barbecue sandwiches on the Hawaiian rolls. And they were like, this is the thing, this is what we do. This is how it was always served in our family. I was like, okay,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. So it's really, that's what makes it wonderful.
Right. It's just, yeah, just trying all the different, like you said, different spins and things. Because we have a little bit of a Hawaiian twist. I use guava bread that's kind of
Oh
like a
yeah.
cream color, and then the taro bread, which is a lavender or purple color.
Mm.
The sweet bread is kind of a yellow. So the sweet bread, I use it with the pork, and I do kind of, it's almost like a pulled pork sandwich.
Yes,
So,
yes.
yeah, basically the same concept. And then we
Oh,
use a guava jelly, as a part of a sauce, a little secret sauce that we make, and we put that on the sweet bread with the
oh
pork.
yeah.
Really good. I think it's good. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but it is fun seeing all the different places, and I've been to several different tea rooms across the U.S. as well as in Europe, and Ireland had to be one of my favorite places to go for tea. I loved it in Ireland. We went to
It's
Ashford Castle,
oh, you did.
Fair Manor. We stayed there on our honeymoon,
Oh my gosh.
and yeah, there was a cute little tea room too. Tea Time magazine puts out places to go and have tea, and they just happened to have tea rooms in Ireland.
Oh,
So we went to the one in Dublin, and the names are escaping me. The one where they actually had the artist, the resident artist, and the pastry chef made the desserts like the artwork that was in there. And so it was a work of art. It was
is
just,
it a hotel or a tea room?
that one was a hotel
Yeah. Okay. I think I looked at that one, but
in Dublin.
I ended up deciding I favored the castles. I'm sorry to say. I just couldn't. I was like, we can't not go to we went to Mount Juliet Estate, which was just phenomenal because not only was it gorgeous and the food was just amazing, but they come and they give you a little historical talk. Like
Uh,
they teach you like this is, all of what went on. So you're kind of learning a little bit about Irish history as well, which I really liked.
yeah.
Yeah. And then we
Well,
went to I'm gonna say it wrong. I know. The Irish just
yeah.
I kill it. Drama, dromedary. No, that's wrong.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's that UK sort of different words that they,
Okay.
different. words that they use than we do. And
Mm.
like I interviewed one tea room called Stratford upon Avon. You know,
Oh,
I mean, so they always have these other words and stuff. And yeah, so it's a different world there.
yeah.
I call us, we're the Americans, we're their hillbilly cousins
They're
that
so
drink
proud of
tea.
us.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
But
man.
I asked what were some of the fun and quirky things about yourself, and you said that if you could, you would probably dress up in a ballroom all around the house. So when you were in the castles, were you just like picturing yourself as a princess in the castle?
Yeah, totally. I mean, what did we, oh my gosh, we got so silly. When we were at Mount Juliet Estate, I was there with my sister-in-law and we had all the girls with us and we said, okay, let's do our Vogue cover shots. So we like, you know, we're luxuriating in
Yeah,
the lounge. And we asked and they must have been like, these American fools, but just, we were glammed up. So we were like, but really the pictures were hilarious because we were all hysterically laughing
yeah.
instead of acting like really cool models. We
Right,
were
right.
just, so anyway, it was fun. Yeah, I really would love an excuse to wear a ball gown. I keep telling my husband, feel free to take me somewhere.
Okay. Well, we get dressed up in our tea room. I mean, we've had a couple of tea parties where, like Sweet 16. And I
Yeah,
take
you
them
can really
just
get
to,
dressed up for that.
yeah,
And
just,
people do the costumes like Downton Abbey. Did people do any of that?
I've been to a Downton Abbey tea for the public television here
Oh,
because
awesome.
they were, going to be airing the Downton Abbey. So they invited me to do the tea service and everybody was dressed up in their Downton Abbey costume.
Oh,
So that was a lot of fun.
people are so creative. I'm always so impressed.
I know.
I was
Yeah.
wondering if I should wear my afternoon tea.
Your hat, you could have put a hat on. Yeah.
Fascinating.
So what's in your teacup?
Oh, thank you. This is my teacup.
Oh, I have one of those. I
What
love
is
that
it?
teacup. It's from China. It's a lusterware.
Yeah. Okay. So my mother-in-law gave this to me. This set. It passed down in her family, and I actually also have this. Oh,
Yes, 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 yes.
okay. I didn't know anything about it, so that's exciting. Thank you. And
Yeah.
this is what I'm drinking. Hmm, can you see
Okay.
it?
Uh-huh.
It's
It's a
from
pretty.
Rome,
Oh, okay. From where?
Babingtons. They sent it to me.
Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh, love
Is this what
Babington.
you're drinking?
No, no, I'm not that. No, it's my tea. I'm drinking wellness energy. I'm going to
Oh,
see my grandsons today, so I need some energy. But I
okay.
love Babingtons.
Have you? I
It,
haven't been there.
yeah, it's so funny because we went to Rome with my husband's family. He's from Denmark, so every year the family gets together and we do these trips because I mean they're already there in Europe, so it's just pretty easy for them to get around and
Awesome.
travel. It takes us forever to get to Denmark, but and we went and I wasn't expecting a tea room. I didn't even think of looking up, and so here we were at the Spanish Steps. It was crowded, and then my family, they're standing in a row, like just like stiff, and they're like giggling. And I'm like, why are you, what's going on? And then I'm like, what's behind you over there? And it was a tea room.
Oh,
Oh my gosh. Amazing, isn't it? I mean, they've been, what is it, 100 and something years, these two English ladies started the tea room, and they're still going strong.
and they've kept it in the family, and they're still using some of. I wrote about it a little bit because I did a post. They sent me a couple of teas to try because I think they're doing like a promotion. They're reaching out to different people to let them know about their teas. But I was so excited. It was so funny because I'm trying to email in Italian, my Italian, like, rudimentary. So I'm like, oh yeah, oh my, this is my Italian. Okay. And I'm emailing them and the lady writes back and she's like, well, actually I'm in Germany. She's like their person that's doing like the outreach for them. And I was like, oh shoot, wrong language, but they're delicious. Like this is Miss Babington's blend. This I'm totally unexpected. They have a chai blend that I thought was one of the best we've ever had. I really like it when you can see the real dry botanicals in there and
Right.
rather than like the artificial flavoring. I think they also
Right,
use the
right,
natural
right.
flavorings, but Yeah, so I wrote, and they sent this awesome booklet that was like half in Italian, half in English, and it just tells you the whole story. And it's wonderful. It's like things like during the war, nobody vandalized them. Oh, did you learn all that when you went?
Because yeah, there's no, yeah, go ahead, tell everybody because it is very
It
fascinating.
was amazing. Like they were protected and respected. And so, like it was kind of like anybody could still come in no matter what, what your leanings were. And they had rations too, just like everybody else. So they had these like really creative recipes that they made however they could. And they still have some of those recipes to this day.
Yeah,
So,
and they had one thing that was kind of funny. They had this the waitress that had been with them for like for 50 years or something.
oh my
And
gosh.
then I think she's still there. I'm trying to look for the photos of Babington's, but that was such a fun surprise um, to
Yeah,
just go
you don't
and then
expect it there.
no, I wasn't even thinking of looking for a place to have tea there. But I made, oh, here, this is like really, oh, let me see if I can show you this picture. That's the one in Ireland.
Ooh.
Let's see if I can upload it.
I want to look for what was the name of that castle that we went to that I can't remember.
Yeah, castles are always fun to go and have tea. And then also to like the Biltmore Hotel in North Carolina, the Biltmore Estate rather. That was, or no, not the Biltmore. They have the Biltmore Hotel. Next to it is, what's her name? Uh,
The
um,
Biltmore Estate is, I think, in North Carolina.
yeah, and then the very famous
Oh, Drummerland
Vanderbilt,
Castle.
one of the Vanderbilts.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
The Vanderbilt, that was, I had tea over there. That was kind of lovely.
Oh, it's just, I feel like it's so special when you're somewhere and you're thinking 150, almost 200 years ago, people were doing exactly what I'm doing now, but it was a completely different period of time, and women thought about themselves differently in society. Like one of the things I love about the United States tea room story is that the tea rooms were their entree into the restaurant industry, because they weren't allowed to work in restaurants, they weren't allowed to go to restaurants without their men, right? And so their tea rooms were a way of them saying, fine, this is my house. I will, you can come in here and have my recipes, and then women will work for me here as well. So it's like that's how they got their foot in the door. So I really love that.
Well, on your website, you started doing, showing people how to um, set up their table. Well, I saw that on your Facebook page. That was really a cute video
Like,
that you did. And I believe that, let me put that in. I think this is your daughter in there. Is that your daughter?
oh, Stella.
That your
Yeah,
oldest daughter?
she's my youngest.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. So we were doing an outdoor tea. We did a takeout tea. I'm so happy that you're doing those teas to go, because I really honestly feel like they are making, one of the things we had to talk about was there's, especially when COVID was really rampant and scary, really scary in the beginning, like jumping up, the rates were jumping up and people were getting nervous and saying, what are we doing? We're going to stay home. How long are we going to stay home? In that climate, I was like, what? We can't keep writing about afternoon tea and say, so exciting. And one, we all love afternoon tea. And so we kind of took a pause and started thinking about, well, okay, if we are going to write about this, it should be about making life a little special and brightening your day. When for some people it's really hard to be home. Some people love being home. They're like, yes, alone time. But some people, they really feel isolated. And that's another wonderful thing that I've read about, is that people are buying the afternoon tea to go and sending it, having it delivered or dropping it off at their loved ones' houses, like maybe a grandmother who hasn't been able to come out or whatever. And then they all get on Zoom and they do their tea party together. I just love that. I think it's wonderful.
One of what one of my customers did was a surprise birthday party, and they love to get dressed up in my shop. And we have a lot of, you know what the anime is? The
Yes.
Japanese anime.
Yeah.
We have a group that come in and they actually, the women dress up and they also have the dolls. Those very expensive 500, 600 little dolls that they bring in and have tea with them too. These are adult women.
Yeah.
This other group, they're a little bit more goth dressing.
Mhm.
So they decided to do a drive-by surprise birthday party for their girlfriend. So they picked up the tea service from me. They all got dressed up. They had put it on. It was really, really cute. And I was just touched that, everybody's so creative
Mhm.
right now. I think that's one of the fun things is watching how people are, you know, staying creative, being active, and not going crazy with being locked up, which we're totally forgetting that we were locked up right now. I'm totally forgot that we've been locked up for so long. But
It's becoming like the new norm. But
yeah,
you really do have to give an extra thought to, especially the older generations that are really trying to keep safe. They're so tired of being stuck at home alone, you know? So, especially if you don't have, a partner with you or something, and it's just you, so it's really nice to think about ways that you can share something, with them and reconnect.
that's really true. And I think so. Right now, you're saying that um, you're going to go do soccer, take the kids to soccer later today because it's like, or you're 6 hours ahead of us.
Oh,
But
yeah.
so you're opening up, so you're actually able to do sports and things in Georgia.
Yeah. Um, they're they're trying to be very thoughtful about how to come back safely with some outdoor things. So they're like they're going to soccer, but it's like only this many kids on the field at a time, and everybody's got to wash off their stuff. And we'll see. I feel like we're still nobody's really entirely sure how we should proceed forward, but there's definitely in Georgia, there's definitely the desire to be like, because like we've been in for it's 3 months.
Yeah.
So, people want one of my girlfriends works for a nonprofit, and it's just been really rough on the nonprofits, obviously, right? They're not having any of their events anymore. And she said just walking out of her house and taking her kids to the pool, because our pool has reopened with all these special rules, like everybody's in their own pod. But she said she needed that for their mental sanity, and just to see like, oh, people, life is still going on, people are okay, people are healthy, because a lot of times, depending on what you're looking at, you can just get really down about what's going on and what will the future hold and things like that. So there's a balance you kind of have to weigh, and you have to be careful and respectful, of the people who want more caution. So we're just kind of finding our way through it in Georgia.
Exactly. So some of the tea rooms that you go to in Georgia, how are they surviving? Are they opening up? And
Let's see. What I've so far seen is several of them doing to go.
mhm,
Um, they picked up their to go. Everybody kind of froze in the beginning, and then around April, they started experimenting with, okay, cream tea to go, afternoon tea to go. They did business for Mother's Day. Um, a lot of the tea shops that are more like straight tea were just trying to stay open and do take out tea to drink tea. Um, and then I just saw that Chateau Elan in North Georgia, they're reopening. Like they're taking bookings, I think, this month.
okay.
And I think right near me, the one in Norcross is opening for teas, but only on like selective days.
Mhm,
And I think both of those locations have outdoor facilities as well.
mm,
So I actually went to afternoon tea this past week in Florida. We were in Florida, and they've reopened their restaurants at 50% capacity. So you're very spaced out from all the other tables, and that's how they're getting by right now. But they said that their to go business was what my child is holding up a written sign right now. Okay, I'll talk to you in a second. um they 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 said that their to-go business exploded. Like they said, okay, we'll see, but the interest was so great. And I've actually seen several tea room owners saying this might become a thing
Right.
now that
Right.
was never a concept before. Because I think I saw something you were saying where you were like, it's hard to repackage that experience, that beautiful ambiance of the tea room. And they're just opening a to-go box. And how are you helping that feel special and like a luxury to them? And but everyone's been so creative. I've seen amazing
Yeah.
things together.
I think we're going to, like, yeah, it was just initially how I'm going to recreate that experience. So we started putting like things like little bubbles, and I would have a bubbly afternoon tea and, just different little sweets and the tiny little spoons and everything, because I hate ginormous spoons. So little, and I found a place that I have these cute little spoons and just little things that make it, you have that fun experience. Oh my God, it's a little spoon, it's a little parfait container and that sort of thing. But I think we're going to continue to do it. It's been a good thing. And also for people that, still can't get into the tea room. And it also sort of doubles your capacity, because I did reopen the tea shop.
Mm-hmm.
So, but now we have, like, I could seat, if I put all the seats together, I mean, not all together, so they're all socially distant, but if they were filled to their capacity, like 4, 6s, and 8s,
Mm-hmm.
then I could fit 24 people in the tea room, which is still a lot of people. But
Mm-hmm.
like the other day, we had 5, we have 5 tables, but they were like 2s and 3s. So that's only 10 or
Okay.
12, so it depends on the reservations as they're coming in. But the to go doubles that, because you've got people picking up stuff. So you're still doing that extra business as well. And then another thing the state is allowing us to do is to do seating outside. So you can actually, you just have to apply. You just have to let them know that you're going to be, putting seats outside on the sidewalk. I'm not sure if I want to do that where I'm at, but I've seen other restaurants opening up, and that just enables them to have, a much larger seating capacity.
So
So,
this tea room in Florida, what they were telling me is on their front porch and on their front lawn, they reserve that seating for lunches because they still have a lunch business. And then
mhm.
inside the tea room is for afternoon teas. Um, and they did that intentionally because they were having a hard time bringing their afternoon tea outside in the Florida weather and having it kind of keep its presentation and not be like or melting or whatever.
Right.
Um, so I understand that it's a challenge, and I think that on I thought about this a lot for Destination Tea. The funny thing, I don't even know if I mentioned this before I did the website. I called TMAP, and
Okay.
because they were the one that I was trying to use, but I was getting frustrated because there could be they're an aggregator, I think, so they're pulling whatever they can find online, and so they can have ones in their listing that are closed, and I was barking up the wrong tree in my research and stuff just for us personally. So I called them before I started Destination Tea, and I said, "Why don't you hire me? I'm ready to come back to work. I'll be your researcher. I'll clean up your directories. They have a and tons of people are using their website. They have a great established community." And they said they were so kind. They were like, listen, we're Adagio first, and this is a service that we provide, but we're not wanting to really invest more in it right now. And she said, this wonderful one I spoke to, she said, go. She said, just do it, Angela. Just do it. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not a website developer. She was like, just make. So that's a decision I had to make, because commenting is a huge part of TMAP's community, right? Like the ratings, and you can read other people's reviews. And ultimately, I decided not to have that on our
Mhm.
directories because I don't know how well people understand that this is such a hard business
Right.
and this is a labor of love. Like someone really, what is it, 10, 15, 10 or more recipes, right? To create this meal. And there's so much love put into the design of the tea room and that menu. A lot of times they're family recipes. It's a lot of work. and very reasonably priced. I mean, some of the afternoon teas in certain like, metropolitan areas will be more like in the 50, around the 50 range. But in like the middle of America or in more rural areas, it could be less than $20,
Right.
right? It's normal.
Right.
One of our best tea rooms here in Atlanta, Woodstock, Georgia. The name of the tea room is Tea Leaves in Time. Wonderful, beautiful, gracious. You probably know her already because you guys have been in this business so long together. Kim Jordy. Her afternoon teas are still under $20 for the full afternoon tea. It's incredible.
Yeah.
So uh, I feel like to have someone come on, because every restaurant has a bad day, and to have
Right.
someone come on and say, this was, for my money, rah, rah, rah. I'm like, okay, So I just thought the way we would do it is we would link to that venue's menu or website and let people explore it for themselves and make their own decisions. So that's how I'm doing it now. I don't know if there will be a request for something different in the future, but
Well, I think that's a smart thing to do. There's Yelp. There are other places that people can, express their opinion. Yeah. And people have to understand too that, like you said, it is a labor of love, and we do all have bad days. And we do have that employee that may not be the best one, but she's like there every day, does not call in sick. And, you can rely upon her to do anything, but, maybe her people skills needs to be a little sharpened, but so there's a lot to be in a small little business to run it and keep it going. And I've been doing it for 23 years. So,
that's
I've seen a lot, done a lot, had many people come through and hired many different people. So yeah, it can be a challenging to create a beautiful experience every single day, which is my desire. And sometimes I get really busy and I'm unable to talk to everybody, and I feel sad that I'm not able to, at least, hi, how are you doing? And I mean, I just, how are you doing? How's everything going? But actually getting to know people. I know a lot of my customers. I get to know a lot of people, which makes it a lot of fun. And I think tea owners, people that they're very giving and sharing people,
Mhm.
like to, host. That's another thing you have to do is enjoy hosting. And yeah. So what's with the Destination Tea? Well, you've actually got a new logo, right?
Yes.
And a
Yes.
new website. You added to it.
Yes. We added the section about hosting at home. Obviously, this is like a very hot topic right now. And I've been talking about this. What I'll tell you what I would really love to have happen is I would love to have partners. They could be like tea rooms or they could be tea businesses. And I would love for them because what I intend to do, this is what I do, right? I love researching and then promoting, like organizing my research and then sharing it. So what I'm doing now is I'm putting together tea party guides so that, if you want to go on a certain theme, whether it's like traditional British or children's or certain special event like Mother's Day or garden tea or southern tea, or there's so many different cuisines and occasions. I want to start having tea party guides, and the way I want to do it is I want to pull recipes that I would want to make because I have 4 kids. It's like, this needs to be, it needs to be delicious. It needs to be real. I love real whole foods. And then it needs to be something that anybody can replicate. You don't have to be a pastry chef. We'll save those experiences for going out to tea, but I want to pull those recipes in and create a kind of options for a tea menu. So what I've done is I've created a very simple document that you can print out front and back to kind of organize your plan for your tea party. And then you can fill in, okay, you can choose, you can go in. I want to do it like a Pinterest board. So you can go in and say, okay, for my scone course, I want to do this, this, and this. Write it in, which recipes you're going to do, and then fill in your shopping list on the side. And the way that I'd like to collaborate with tea businesses is I would love if they would say, okay, for this theme, for this menu, serve these teas. these are the pairings, these are the complementary teas for each course.
Right.
And so either that and or that they say to me, okay, we're going to share our signature famous fill in the blank chicken salad recipe for your traditional Southern tea. And so we link to that. And so it promotes them a little bit. And it also lends some authenticity and expertise to the meal. Like, this is what somebody who's been in the business a long time would say would be delicious together, something like that. So that's what I'm working on right now. I'm in the research phase.
Fabulous idea. Fabulous, fabulous. Well, I know we're coming to the end, and you've got to get your kids to soccer because you said you've got to get them to soccer. And for those of you, we you know, yeah, we had a little snafu today. I actually was, you were supposed to be scheduled next week, and then I had my friend was supposed to be scheduled today. Oh yeah, but anyway, I'm so glad that you were able to join me and make it happen today, since I told everybody on social media that I was going to be interviewing you and not Byron Gu. But next week, I'm going to do Storybook Hawaii. And she does all of the, she has, they dress up in the costumes. So if you want Tinkerbell or Cinderella, or she's going to be joining us. And then the following will be Teach Us Hawaii. And that was my friend Byron, who's supposed to be coming in today. And I'm sorry,
Byron,
Byron.
thank you.
Sorry
yes, thank you, Byron.
But I'm so happy that I was able to meet you. And of course, we want everybody to know about how to get in touch with you, where to find you. And then you're on Facebook and watch her great videos. Of course, on your website, destinationtea.com. I forgot to put that on there, because destinationtea.com, you actually have your guide and how to host a party and those fun things that I know that our listeners are definitely interested in.
And can I just put in a request to everyone? If you're going on your state directory page and I've missed something that should be there, please use that email and let me know, because I keep them, I'm regularly updating them so that they're correct.
That's a good thing. So, but it was a pleasure meeting you, and I really appreciate you coming out and talking with me today. I wish I could be in Georgia. It'd be kind of fun. Like I said, I was there once, but yeah. So I would, this is our goodbye and our mahalo and aloha. And thank you for joining me today. And yes, everyone, I thank you for joining the Tea Chat series. And we look forward to seeing you once again next week. All right.
Thank you, Michelle.
Hello. You're welcome. Bye-bye.